Hello friends, welcome back. This is Nima. Ooh, my nails are black. I'm celebrating Halloween and this is a last minute Halloween card. This morning I was watching Carrie from Trinity Stamp and I was inspired by the projects that they show in there. And I realized that I still have this. I do have this stamp in here that she was using and I haven't done anything with that. And I still have time to make one more Halloween card. So here is my plan. I have in here a watercolor piece of paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm gonna stamp, my plan is stamp in here and use a window to show a little bit of dimension. So my mansion will be around this area in here, and I like to kind of mark where it's gonna be so I can have an idea of my sky. My background will be in watercolor, and that's the first thing that I'm gonna do. I'm using this Paul Rubens watercolor, and I'm just gonna wet my paper a little bit first. My colors are gonna be intense and fun. Oranges, purples, greens, all those Halloween colors. And like I said, I put some marks in here so I have an idea where the house will be, and that's gonna help me in here to drop my colors in the right place. Keep in mind that with watercolors, your colors will dry a little lighter. So we might have to come back and add more color. I'm going from orange to that pink to the purple so I can get to blue, and that's a little brighter blue, but we can fix that, no problem. Let's bring a little darker one. That's nice. Mix a little bit in here so I can bring the shade that I want. And I just want to bring something darker on the edges. Let's go back to this section in here. Just gonna drop some of this purple that is so cool and mix it a little bit. Since the colors are, the paper is already kind of getting not dry, but at least it's not as the beginning. It's not spreading the same way. I'm just gonna help it a little bit. I'm in Florida, so even when the weather is getting really nice now, it's still warm and things get dry really quick. Just gonna drop some unexpected yellows in here. I just like the way that it mixes. So let's go into the bottom in here, and that's the ground. And I'm gonna start with the green. And I'm gonna bring it to a little darker. This is all dry, jeez. And I'm gonna bring the same blue that I put in here. Mix with the green really well. And since I already have the purple in there, it's just gonna blend a little better. My house will be in there, but I kind of don't like to leave anything open, so I'm just, let's get a little brown in there, why not? That's fine, that's gonna be covered, all right? Adding a little more darkness in here. And before it gets completely dry, at this stage in here where you can see that the paper is a little moist, but it's not really wet, it's a good time to add some of the bleed-proof white. Because when you add this, it's just gonna spread. Then you can add it again to get a different dimension. So let's get them really small by tapping in here on another, and that way I get them small and a little more control. Okay, see, kind of they spread a little better. Okay, so let me dry this and I'll be back. My watercolor, it's dry. I'm just gonna keep it in there a few more minutes, and in the meantime I already cut my window, and I cut this in using a mixed media paper that is really thick, so it's a good way to, I mean, for this very thin cut, I think it's perfect. And this is my plan. I have this stencil and I'm gonna emboss using this stencil. So I'm gonna use my machine that is on the other side. I'm gonna put the mat and all that in there, and maybe another day I'll tell you about my process, and I'll come back and we work on this. Okay, so here I am back in here, and let's see. Let's see this. Okay. Oops, that's the bag. All right. I taped this because anyway my my panel is larger than what I want at the end. I taped it. Oh yes, you see that impression in there. I'm not gonna worry about this. This is a Halloween card, so if the wires in my windows are not completely straight, that's fantastic. I have a piece of acetate that I'm gonna put in the back. Right. Before I put the acetate, I'm gonna distress this a little bit, and to do that, I'm using paint. And I'm using a bunch of things. So let me gather everything and put it in here so I can show you what I have in mind. So we're painting the bricks a little bit, distressing the bricks, and I have acrylic paint. I'm using this color in here, something that looks like brick color. I like the green because it makes it look like old. So I'm gonna add a little bit of green in here. And the last thing that I'm gonna add is gold, but that I will put it at the end. But my base is white. And here is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this thing with the dabber. That's just the Velcro. And I just make sure that you grab enough, but you don't want this to drip. And you're just gonna go over and scratch in here. And there's no direction in here. You're just gonna go and scratch. And what it's gonna do is just gonna give you some details of the bricks, and scratch the paint on top. That's it. That's what we're doing in there, scratching the paint on top. Now let me just grab more of that, and if you have more in one part, that's totally fine. Just scratching the paint on top. Mix it, yeah, why not? It's supposed to be like an abandoned house that someone is inside looking through the window. Maybe they're waiting for people to come in and scare the people. Or they're just watching what's going on outside. This gold in here, I'm gonna use it for the frame. And just because I'm all dressed up for Halloween, I'm not gonna use my finger, but normally I will use my fingers for that. I'm just gonna use a brush, an old brush in here. Majority of my brushes are for watercolor, so I have these old brushes. That's fine. All right, that's an old window. That might be peeled a little bit. And the window will have a frame. I'm just gonna draw that frame with a marker just to make it easier. Put my paint away before I put it all over me. That will happen right away because I'm really good at that. Okay, so for that window I have this marker, gold marker, and that's what I'm gonna use to paint the window, the frame around. So I'm using this acrylic marker, and my paint is still a little wet. And like I said, it's just to draw the frame around. I'm running to the end, so I will have to get another one pretty soon, because this is kind of just going sometimes and then it's not, but so far it's good. Nothing really perfect, just enough to give you the illusion of what it is. It's a window frame on a house that it is in really, really bad shape. Okay, so this needs to dry, so we're gonna put this on the side, and it's time to stamp in here. All right, so I'm gonna use my stamping tool. Actually, let's leave that tape in there. My stamping tool is not a new one. I mean, it's been through a lot of things, and in that way we can keep this in place. Perfect. Right. And I have the house, and the house will go, I like to, you know, kind of have an idea with this, put it in there where I want the house to go. And then again, we do have this. Yeah, I want to see some of the sky. I think that's perfect right there. So I'm going to put it on top, and then I'm going to close this and pick it up. And I'm using VersaFine Clear. And I might have to stamp a few times if I want something really, really nice. I apologize for the glare. But my other lamp, the other side lamp, is in the other room where I was doing the Inktober. Yeah, 100 times I have to do this. So I'm going to continue doing this until I get it to be really, really dark, and I'll come back. Right, after stamping this like 100 times, no, not that many. Finally, I am at a point where I'm pleased. And if you see little areas, you can always grab a Sharpie. Especially because it's black, I don't have to worry about that. And then just cover the areas. But the main details, they're all done, and they're done perfectly. I love these stamps of from Trinity stamps, because there's like a heart, and then you can push a little bit more, and your stamp is not gonna, I don't really know what the terminology, but you know what I mean, huh? If not, I should sell a dictionary of my words so people understand what I'm saying. Alright, so here we have. And now let's get rid of this tape. I actually like the border. You can have it just like that and put sentiments on the top, and complete this with the Sharpie to the end. Would be nice too. But this is what I want in here. And I'm gonna put font tape in here. First, I'm gonna trim it, this, and I want this to be like 4.25 by 5 by 5.5. But I'm gonna trim from this side, and I think at the top is fine. Right, just because I always want to put something else. I forgot the rest of the things that I wanted to put in there. So a tree, that's another, oh, this is my old one. Let me just grab my new one. I'm gonna add this tree just directly in there. And if it doesn't stamp really well, I got my marker in here. It's just because this tree It looks so cool. And this is what I said about those stamps from Trinity stamps. You can press in there and they're not gonna lose their shape. That's so cool. All right, so let's put another one on the other side. Little one. I was so excited about the house that I totally forgot about all the others. They might not show too much. Nice, nice. I'm gonna add a bat or two running in there. And by the way, look what happened. The border, I mean, when I put my house in here, I'm gonna have a border in green that shows. I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna fill up that with the Sharpie. So I'm gonna add a bat or two in here. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them in here to fly just where I want them to be. And I'm gonna pick them up. The little ones in the distance. Let's fix that one. Right in here. So when I put them in there, that's where they're going. And yep, I'm gonna stamp them right through that. I could have put a mark on my paper of the window. I've just been lazy. All right, so I got my little bats in there, running in there, flying in there. Like I said, I'm gonna add some more black in here just to cover that area. And it's time to put the foam tape in here and the acetate, and then put the card together. Ready to put this card together. I have my background mounted on a A2 card, and I have the front of the card with the foam tape, and I'm using from Trinity Stamps this Book Crew embellishment mix, and that's what I'm gonna use as a shaker. I'm gonna put some of these ones in here. I love the colors because they go really good with the bright colors of my background. And it has some ghosts, some pumpkins, a bat. Actually, it's like an orange dots, green and purple. All right, that should be okay. Maybe we can add some of this ghost. This is the bonehead. Black and white, we can mix some in there. So let me just remove the tape. I put some glue on the tape because I want to have a chance to fix it in case it's not even, but I think it's fine. So let's commit with this. And I have in here a sentiment that I'm going to put in here. It will be just Trick or Treat Halloween. And it's a double sentiment. And here it is. And we can bring them down in here. And this is my card. It's a shaker. And it has the mansion in the back and the very distressed front. Happy Halloween. I hope you like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.